Hi, this is Doug, and today I'm going to show you how to make a tufted headboard. And if this video helps you out, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Thank you. For my headboard, I used a higher quality plywood. It's a 1/2 inch thick. The higher quality will tend to lay flat, but I'm also helping stabilize it with some 1x4s, and that also adds a little bit of thickness, making it look like a more quality piece of upholstery. Just to show you how to hang it, when it's done, this is a French cleat. I'm going to bolt this on to the headboard, and I'll bolt this onto the wall, and it slips in and it rests on there. I designed my layout in Excel. It's very easy to do. I was able to mark where I'm going to be drawing all my lines to then get the intersections for my buttons. One thing you need to make sure of is make sure you're symmetrical. So if you have 3 buttons on the left, you want to end with 3 buttons on the right. I got real lucky and I had this sitting around. It's an edge for a tile floor. It's just long enough. I had to improvise. It gives me a nice long straight edge. This is a 3/8 inch drill bit. So my diamond pattern is 5.5 inches wide and 6.5 inches top to bottom. This is a 2-inch thick extra high density foam. I'll be using this to adhere the foam to the wood. This is a 1-inch drill bit. This is a 1-inch medium foam. I'm going to use this around the sides so that the wood doesn't show through. This is really tacky. I love this, and it's way cheaper than the 3M. This is 6-ounce batting. 4-ounce would work just as good. This is a lightweight adhesive, perfect for batting because it won't soak through. These are tufting buttons that have little teeth on them so that you can do this by hand and press them together without the use of any expensive tools or dies. We're doing 94 buttons here. It really hurts pressing them together, but I saved a couple $100 doing it this way. This is the tufting twine that I'm going to use. It's made for tufting. It has a really high load strength to hold down the buttons. I'm going to be using a 12-inch tufting needle. This is a test piece. On the back I drew the same grid, only I made it a little bit wider and a little bit higher because in between these buttons, with the foam being there, there's a little more distance now. So you can check that just by kind of coming in and bottoming out and then getting that extra distance. This foam's 2 inches thick, So I ended up widening the grid just for my first test to 7 inches and 7.75 from 5.5 and 6.5. I'm using 3/4 inch buttons, and that's why I used a 1 inch drill bit, because that's a 1/4 inch wider than the button, giving me a little space to pull it down but not too much. I'm using 2 foot of twine. I'm glad I tested because I was a little bit tight side to side, so I loosened that up, and this fabric's really nice because it's thicker, the marker doesn't bleed through. Now I know where to poke my needle so that I'm consistent and I can do this more quickly. Tufting twine is great because it doesn't stretch, but you got to make sure you're stapling it down really tight. And I usually start off with 2 staples just to make sure it's coming down and holding. Another 2 staples this direction, one more. So I'm usually doing 6 or 7 staples. If I do need to pull some out, I'm using a staple and tack remover from CS Osborne. This is a pneumatic upholstery staple gun. It's a short nose version that I'm running between 90 and 100 psi. I like this a lot. What makes this upholstery is that it has a 1/2 inch crown, and I'm using 3/8 inch deep staples. So I'm doing 1 row at a time, stopping and coming back, and because I can slip my finger under here, I can fix my pleats just a little bit, just to make sure that things are good before I move on and do the next row. For the sides, you can choose to round it over or square it up like you see there. I chose to go with rounding it over, and I also folded all of my pleats to one direction. So here's the finished product, hanging on the wall with the French cleats. Those worked out really well. I hope this video helps you out. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like. Thanks a lot, and good luck with your project.